Hey, Facebookers! We are live. This is Zack Childress, your coach, coming to you. Why is today an important day? Well, I got a very easy, dig deeper book for you today. It's called 9 Things Successful People Do Differently. Look at that little book. Man, you can stick that in your pocket and carry it around everywhere with you so you know what you need to be doing as a successful real estate investor. But before we do that, I'm going to let everybody get on board, and I'm going to play you a little song. I say your name, but I need you on Facebook right now. I need you on Facebook right now. So don't let me down. Tell all your friends to come to Facebook right now. Here it goes. Here it goes. Don't let me down. 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 All right, all right, all right. Did that wake you up today? Did that wake you up today? Good. I need you to wake up today. Today is the day that you guys are going to make a change. How are we going to make a change? We're going to change some things. We're going to talk about 9 things successful people do differently and why you need to be doing it differently. Remember, this is live. I can't make this stuff up. I'm on the fly, and I'm a poet and didn't know it today. So join us. Tell your friends about it. Share the page. There's people you know that need to understand there are things they can change in their life to make a difference, and not just them, but them other people around them. So share this page. Share this page, share this page, share this page, share this page, share this page. Now, you know, I'm in here. I can't do this by myself. It's all about my team. Everybody, I want you to say hi to Jill. Everybody say hi, Jill.
Hi.
Hi, Jill. Hi, Jill. Hi, Jill. And give my video magician, magic ninja warrior, Justin Stanfield, a big thumbs up for being able to put all this together.
So you just gave him my last name.
Oh, did I?
You did.
Yeah, but that's not Jill's husband. But this is what I will tell you. Here it goes. I'm in the mood today, guys. I'm in a good mood today. Yes, I am in a good mood today. If you're not with me, you're not in a good mood with me, then we got some problems. So we do this every Wednesday at 1:30. Who's on board with us today? Who's on board? Who's on board? Tell me where you're from. Tell me hi. Put your questions in. And I'm going to dig into 9 things that you need to be doing to change your destiny and change your thought processes and how to create good goals and how to stick to those goals. Who's with us today?
We have Toby, Levi, Christy, Justin, Susan.
Woo! We got some of you on here. I know. So listen, you guys can still ask me questions today. Even though I'm going to dig in this book, you can still ask me questions. I want you to ask me questions. I think it's important that you ask questions. Why? Because it's called active participation. You actively participate, and I will actively give you answers. How's that sound, right? So I'm all about it. I want you guys to participate with me. I want you guys to learn and grow and have everything else at your fingertips. So anyways, if you missed my event, I'm sorry for you. I'm not sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. Because we had an amazing event in Denver, Colorado, and that thing was absolutely off the chain. We changed some lives. I had an amazing team out there to support you guys as students and me. You can see what's going on right now. People were everywhere. They loved it. They loved it. They loved it. We got more people that realized they needed long-term support than we even imagined from that event. Because why? Because the information was current. It was real. It was in their face. It was do this, and do this, and you'll make a deal happen. That is why they call me the real estate coach. not your guru, right? That's why I do what I do, to help you succeed, to help you grow. But I can't help you if you don't say, Zach, I need help, right? So be part of what we do. This is why we do the Facebook Lives. We do them every Tuesday. At what time, Jill?
We do them at 12:30 Central Standard Time and 1:30 Eastern Standard Time.
That's right. Same bat channel, same bat time. And we do our Dig Deeper book review or interview with an expert on Wednesdays at what time, Jill?
At 12:30 Central Standard Time, which is 1:30 Eastern Standard Time.
That's right. You heard it right there from Jill. If anybody knows where I need to be, it's Jill.
That is very true.
So let me tell you something. This is by Heidi Grant, and she's a Harvard Business Review reviewed this book. She's actually the director of Columbia Business School's Motivational Science Center. So she's a psychologist. She has a PhD in motivational psychology. Ooh, how about that one? Motivational psychology. Somebody told me about this book, and I grabbed it and read it, and it's such a simplistic, easy read, but it is so super powerful. I want you to look at that. I don't know if you can see that, but look at all the corners I have bent down, and look at all the highlights that I have going on in here, right? I don't know if you can see all that, but this book is just full of great little information. So let's just dig in real quick. I'm going to dig in with you. Now, don't be surprised if I wake you up by playing some good music for you. So don't let me down, Facebookers. Be part. Talk to me. Communicate. Let me know you're here. I want to know where you're from. I want to know who you are. I want to know how you got here. I want to know what your challenges are. I want to know where you are. Give a shout out to Big Tyler over here. I see you joining us, Tyler. Oh, wait, let me look. Tyler's coming on. Let me make him happy. Oh, I'm going to play that song until somebody makes a comment that says, Zach, you're so annoying again. All right. So, number one, he says, Heidi says in this book, she says, get specific. That's the very first thing she says, that when she went out and talked to all these successful people, and during her analysis of psychology on them, 9 things successful people do, she said they get very specific. But listen, I want you guys to hang with me, because chapter 3 is actually probably one of the many chapters in here that I really like a lot. But she says, get specific. When you set yourself a goal, try to be as specific as possible. For instance, don't go around saying I want to lose some weight, but say I want to lose 5 pounds in the next 10 days, or I want to lose 30 pounds over the next 3 months. Specific goals have a tangible process that make you hold yourself accountable. For instance, in real estate, I talk about this constantly, and if you're at the event, you know I talked about this. Be specific. I'm going to call 20 people a week. I'm going to call 30 people a week. I'm going to make 10 offers a week. Be specific so that you can write it on your board, or do like I do, paint one of your walls with whiteboard paint, so you can just write on your wall and just hold yourself specific. Make sure that you have very specific goals. Also think about the specific actions that you need to take to reach your goals. Just promising you'll eat less or sleep more or do a little more work during the day is too vague. Be clear and precise. I'll be in bed by 10 p.m. on weeknights. Leave no room for doubt about what you need to do, or whatever or not you've actually done, or whether or not you've actually done it. That is something that I think all across business world, we as educators, well, I hope we, as I'm grouping them all together, and I know I'm not in the same group as most of the people out there, but as the group, you have to be specific. And here's why. Because if you just say, hey, I want to succeed, or I want to make $1 million, that's not specific. Like, this is why you heard me at the event and any of my events, or if you're my coaching student, you've heard me be very specific with you. What is your goal? And then let's work backwards from there. One of the books we're going to be digging into here in the near future is called The 7 Habits, or The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it's by Stephen Covey. So if you get a chance, go get this book, read up on it before we talk about it. And in here, he talks about how to have successful habits, you have to start with the end in mind. Not the now, not the yesterday, but the end in mind. Where do you want to go? And this is kind of a congruent process to that. It's also a congruent process to the book we did with Think and Grow Rich. It's also congruent with the Steve Jobs book that we did. It's also congruent with the Power of 7 Personal Financial Disciplines. It's also congruent with Who Moved My Cheese. If you start to understand what I'm talking about, all of these authors that talk about success all talk about this right here. And what is that? Being specific, knowing where you want to go and outlining that and then building backwards from that, okay? Taking the time to get specific and spell out exactly what you want to achieve removes the possibility of settling for less, right? Settling for less. This goes back to the book we just did, which was called Winning Now. Man, it's so amazing when you read as many books as I read, or I don't really read them all, but I highlight through the books. They all have a very congruent process, and I could link all these books together. And people say, Zach, how do you know all this information? Well, think about, if I'm doing a book review every single week, how many books am I going through a year? Think about that. Not 52, because I don't do them every week, but probably, let's say 45. How many of you are going through 5 books a year? Right, Jill?
Not me. I got 5 kids.
Well, my point is not that Jill is reading 45 books.
I wish I was.
My point is that when you are engaging in that many books throughout a year, it changes some things. Look, I'm always looking for growth, okay? And I don't care where you come from, if you got 5 kids or not. You don't need to be making those excuses, Jill.
You're right. You're right.
Chapter 1, you see that? You see how I just put the smack down on Jill? I don't care where you're from. If you're in front of me or not in front of me, I'm still going to put the smack down on you.
That's very true.
Putting it into practice, getting specific. Here's what he says. Write down your goal. Or she. I need to realize Heidi is a she, not a he. Write down your goals. Example, my goal is to get ahead at work. Example, my goal is to lose some weight. Example, my goal is to start a business. What is your goal? Ask yourself, how will I know when I have succeeded? Okay? Describe the moment when you will know that you have reached your goal. Describe that feeling. What's that going to feel like? How is that going to affect you? What's it going to do for your business? Get back and rewrite your goal using the information. And so what she's saying there is like, once you write a goal, every month or 2 months, you got to review that and look at your tracking, and are you reaching it? And do you need to rewrite your goals to reach your where you're heading? Number 4 for putting it into practice. Now, for a little mental contrasting. Think about 2 positive aspects of reaching your goal and 2 obstacles that lie in your way. I love that she does this because she's getting you to understand that there are going to be obstacles in your way. And you've got to all understand that there's going to be obstacles in the journey. There's going to be obstacles in building a business. There's going to be obstacles in anything you do. And if you don't think that there are, then you're unrealistic. And you have to embrace those. Number 5 for putting it into place. Beginning with the first positive aspect, write a few sentences about what it will be like to experience it. Meaning that when you set a goal, start to visualize. You guys have heard me say it, I'm sure, or you've heard other people say, visualize your success, right? Visualize where you're going to be. And that's what she's saying here. When you write your goals down, write down what are some things you're going to feel when you succeed at it. Also write down some things that are going to probably get in your way, and then detail those out. But it also says begin with the first positive aspect, write a few sentences about what it will be like to experience that success. Get in the now state, get in the ready state. Next, write a few sentences about the first obstacle and why it's a problem. Repeat for the second positive aspect as you move forward. So get specific. That's the first chapter. Chapter number 2, seize the moment to act on your goals. Woo, think about that. How many times in life do we say, oh, I want to achieve that, But when the opportunity comes, we're not able to seize the moment because why? We're not in a ready state. We're not in a now state. We're not in a winning state. We're not in a positive state. We're not in the moment to reciprocate or to embrace or to be presently active to receive the information or the opportunity when it presents itself. You know, I said this for years. I had a mentor once tell me, Zach, opportunity is presented to you every single day. The challenge is are you awake enough to see it? Think about that. That's a good quote. We should write that down for me somewhere. Justin, if you're reading this, write that down. That is, that opportunity is in front of you every single day. The question is, are you awake enough to seize that opportunity? And so that has to be what? Being in an active, present state, being in a ready moment, being alive, being in an energetic state. Like people say, how do you get all that energy? It's because I do this. Here it comes. You ready? I need you right now. Oh, I'm right now. Don't let me down, Facebookers. I need you right now. It's in your head, man. Get out of your head. Live in the moment. Be present. That's what it's about. Like, who cares what people think about you? Who cares if they see you dancing in the middle of the road? Who cares? Be alive. Be present. Be active. Be in a ready state at all times to, listen, opportunity is not going to welcome itself to you if you're not even in a ready state. People don't like negative people. Opportunity is present to people who are loving life. Seize the moment to act on your goals. Here's what she says. Given how busy most of us are and how many goals we are juggling at once, it's not surprising that we routinely miss opportunities to act on goals because we simply fail to notice them. We're not awake. We're just like, I'm going through life. I'm in life. There's nothing I can do about it. You got to wake up, guys. Listen, look outside and be thankful that we're still here and the eclipse didn't burn down the earth, right? I mean, how many times I heard all kinds of theories on what was going to happen when the eclipse. You know what I said to it? Who cares? I'm going to live life right now and I'm going to enjoy it. I don't care if you're broke. I don't care if you're rich. It does not excuse the fact that you're still waking up every day and you're in life right now, okay? Enjoy it. Achieving your goal means grabbing hold of these opportunities before they slip through your fingertips. Because let me say this, opportunity is not lost. It's only taken by someone else because you were not awake enough or you were too slow to move on that opportunity. You understand that? Do you understand that? That is the reality. You lost the opportunity, but it wasn't lost. Somebody else took it, okay? To seize the moment, decide when and where you will take action in your life. You should do it right now, okay? She wrote this, studies show that this kind of planning will help your brain to detect and seize the opportunity when it arises, increasing your chance to succeed by roughly 300% just by being in what state? The now state. That's what it is, guys. That's what it is right there, man. You can't take me down. I'll be in here by myself doing this. That's the reality, okay? All right, here we go.
Can I interrupt you for a second? Steve says he got here a little late. What's the name of this book again, please?
Oh, 9 Things Successful People Do Differently. It's written by Heidi Grant. 9 Things Successful People Do Differently. It's written by Heidi Grant. It's a little small read. You could rip through this while you're using the bathroom. All right, so she moves on in chapter 2 to say this. Wanting to be more productive isn't enough to actually make you more productive. That goes back to, you can't just say, oh, I want to be productive. That ain't going to do you no good. Wanting to be productive is not the name of the game. You need to find a way to deal effectively with the distractions, right? The interruptions, and the fact that there is just way too much on your plate. Fortunately, there is a very simple strategy that has been proven to do the trick. Now listen to this. This is a great strategy. I've actually used this before I've even read this book. It's called the if-then planning. If-then planning. And it is a really powerful way to help you achieve any goal. Well, over 100 studies on everything from diet, exercise to negotiation and time management have shown that deciding to advance when and where you will take specific actions to reach your goals. If it is 4 p.m., then I will return any phone calls I should return today. Can double or triple your chances of success. If-then statements. If it is in the morning, I will not return calls. If it is this, then I will do this. It's creating roadblocks for yourself so that you don't get overwhelmed with things. If-then plan to take form. For example, if X happens, then I'll do Y. Here's just so you guys can understand. Here's an example. If I haven't written the report before lunch, then I will make it first thing I do when I return. So it's not eating at you all day long. It's just, hey, if I haven't done it here, then I'm going to move it out to here. If I am getting too distracted by colleagues, then I will stick to a 5-minute chat limit and head back to work. Man, isn't that a good one? I need to teach Jill that. I need to get Jill on the 5-minute conversation.
I don't think those exist.
So, if it is 6 p.m., then I will spend an hour working out in the company gym before heading home. Well, my company gym would be running around the building. So there you go, guys. All right. So putting it into practice, here's what she says. Making if-then plans, putting it into practice. Identify I can't say the word.
Maybe you should.
A critical action you need to take to reach your goal. Then and where should you take this action? What is the critical situation? So it's putting yourself in an example so that you live by it, okay? Here's chapter 3. Know exactly how far you have left to go. All right, I'm already into this book, right? I like this book. You need to get this book. It costs like $12. Heidi Grant, 9 Things Successful People Do Differently. If you're just joining us, that's what we're doing. We're talking about Heidi Grant's book, 9 Things Successful People Do Differently. And she is a PhD, and she's the director of the Columbus Business School's Motivation Science Center. She has a PhD in motivational psychology. Pretty interesting, huh? I didn't even know that existed. So, but in chapter 3, she's talking about know exactly how far you have left to go. And see, this will never happen if you're not measuring and tracking and being accountable for what you do. Why do you think we have coaches? Why do you think we have coaches in life? Because coaches help us with what chapter 3 is talking about. Coaches help us with knowing exactly how far we have left to go. Because why? They build a plan for us. They hold us accountable. They measure our results. And they make sure that we're moving down that path to get where we need to go. This is why chapter 3 is so powerful. Ready? Achieving any goal also requires honest and regular monitoring of your progress. If not by others, then by you yourself. If you don't know how well you're doing, you can't adjust your behavior or your strategies accordingly. Check your progress frequently, weekly, or even daily, depending on your goal. It's just not possible to stay motivated without feedback. This is where a coach comes in, right? You cannot stay moving in a direction alone if you don't have outside feedback telling you what you need to be doing to get you where you want to be, because they've already done it and they've already been there. Chapter 3, this is why I love chapter 3. Know exactly how far you have to go. It's just not possible to stay motivated without feedback, like a coach. No one is comfortable operating in a vacuum. Fundamentally, this is a result of the way our brains are wired. We subconsciously tune into the presence of a discrepancy between where we are now and where we want to be. When your brain detects a discrepancy, it reacts by throwing resources at it. Attention, effort, deeper processing of information, and willpower. We're going to get into willpower in a couple more chapters. When you don't have any, now listen, now this is the opposite. She's saying this is when you have direction, you have somebody telling you direction, your subconscious starts to throw things at it like attention, effort, deeper processing of information, and willpower. Subconsciously, you draw that up. Now listen, this is the opposite. When you don't have any idea of how well you're doing, or when you have only a vague sense of where you stand with respect to your goal, the discrepancy isn't clear because you don't know when you don't have anybody helping you. As a result, motivation is diminished, if not wiped out altogether. It's the discrepancy that signals that an action is needed. Without a discrepancy, nothing happens. When that discrepancy is unclear, you take no action at all. Boom. That one right there. That was a mic drop right there, man. That you understand, that is what I try to tell people over and over and over and over and over. I just can't speak it like a motivational psychology person does, okay? But that's exactly what my point is that when you don't have someone holding you accountable or telling you where you need to be or where you need to go and leading you down that path, then what happens is you have an unclear goal. And so what happens is you lose motivation. You start to get unclear. You start to lose motivation. It starts to diminish. It wipes out altogether. The discrepancy that signals that an action is needed, without a discrepancy, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Man, I may not get through all this book. All right, so let's move on over to chapter 4. Be a realistic optimist. Ooh, how about that? I love optimists. I love them to death. But there's a big difference between a realistic and an unrealistic optimist, right? Some people are just so optimistic that they never achieve anything because they don't even understand what being realistic about their optimism is, okay? So she says, when you are setting a goal, by all means, engage in lots of positive thinking about how likely you are to achieve it. Believing in your ability to succeed is enormously helpful for creating and sustaining your motivation. But whatever you do, don't underestimate how difficult it will be to reach your goal. That is realistic. That is when people ask me how quickly they can reach success. I'm very realistic with them. I'm like, look, you need a coach, and it's a hard job, and it's a hard path. But, if you stick into it and you stay committed and you have the willingness not to quit and the ability to stay focused and get the right support, you'll make it. You'll make it. But you have to understand, you have to have grit. And we're going to talk about that in here, okay? She goes on to say, realistic optimist. Believe they will succeed, but also believe they have to make success happen. It's not going to be given to them. Through things like effort, careful planning, persistent, and choosing the right strategy, they recognize the need for giving serious thought to how they will deal with obstacles. Because is it going to be hard? Yes. To deny that is being unrealistic. This preparation only increases their confidence in their own ability to get things done. Boom. That, my friends, is what a realistic optimist is, and that's what she's saying. Successful people are not, they're all optimists, but they're not unrealistic optimists. They're very realistic optimists, and they understand, look, I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm not going to let my fear of making mistakes stop me from moving forward. I'm not going to let my fear of not knowing what's on the other side of that wall stop me from climbing that wall. because I'm moving forward with you or without you, and I don't need your approval and I don't need your opinion to tell me if I'm going to succeed or not, because one way or the other, I'm going to make it happen. If I get the right support on my team with a coach, the willingness not to quit, and the ability to stay focused, I will succeed. That is my slogan right there. With the right support, the willingness not to quit, the ability to stay focused, I will succeed. That, my friends, is what you got to tell yourself over and over and over and over and over. Over and over and over, okay? So, let's see here. Chapter 5. Actually, I might get through this whole book. Chapter 5. Focus on getting better rather than being good. Think about that. So many of us just want to be good at something. I want to be good at this. I want to be good at that. I just want to be good. Man, that's the wrong attitude. If you focus on how do you get better every day, then guess what? You're going to get better naturally. And you're going to not just become good, you're going to become great. So stop worrying about good and start worrying about getting you better. One of our wristbands that we have is, getting your life right. Hashtag that. Getting your life right. Because here's why. You will never start getting your money right until you start getting your life right. Getting your life right is why we do the Dig Deeper Wednesday classes. This is why we hold these classes. This is why I go through these books with you guys, so that you can start to understand that you are one step away from changing everything about your life. And a lot of it has to do with the way you think about your life, the way you perceive what you've been given and the hand you've been dealt is a switch. It's a switch that you have to make. And if I can help make that with you, man, then my dig deeper is dug a little deeper on you, and I'm happy about that. So, all right, here's what she says in chapter 5. Believing that you have the ability to reach your goals is important, but so is believing you can get the ability. You hear that? She said, but so is believing you can get the ability. So let's look at that real quick. So some people say, oh, well, Zach, I don't know anything about real estate, and I don't know, I'm scared. Because why? They don't think they have the ability, but they also aren't in a mindset of being in a ready state, a winning state, being active and being open to opportunity to say, I may not have the ability to do this, but I know that I can gain the ability with the right support, the willingness not to quit, and the ability to stay focused. I will succeed. That is where it's at. Many of us believe that our intelligence or our personality and our physical attributes are fixed, that no matter what we do, we won't improve. As a result, we focus on goals that are all about proving ourselves rather than developing and acquiring new skills. So it's, I'm overweight, so let me get skinny real quick. Instead of creating new habits, let me eat healthier, let me walk at night, let me wake up earlier and jump rope. Let me change things in my life to be better instead of being good. That's the point here. I'm not a millionaire right now. I want to go find a way to make $1 million right now. That's just trying to be good. That's not being better. How do I become better? I need to start changing some habits in my life. I need to get the right people, change my environment. I need to create habits that are going to work for me daily. I need to do things that are going to build me up to another level to get to the success that I want. Boom, I'm on fire today, Jill.
You are on fire. I was actually thinking when you mentioned jump rope that the next Facebook Live, you and I should be jumping rope when it comes on.
Little jump rope action in here for you guys.
Or we could have like me and Carly roll it for you, and then you could jump in the middle.
Do some tricks in there. I don't know about that. Hey, have you seen the one? It's a comedy. That was funny. You're like, Justin got you on camera doing this. Nice. Good shot there, Justin. So there's this video on Facebook where they have this long jump rope and they're blindfolding somebody and they're saying, okay, we're gonna do the jump rope and you jump. And so, they go out there, they put the blindfold on, they're like, all right, ready, go. And they start jumping and the people walk away with the jump rope. So this person's just sitting there jumping up and down, like thinking there's a jump rope coming.
I could do some mad tricks if it was like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, you just got to blindfold me and walk away with the jump rope.
Yeah, that's right. Be like, boom, boom, boom. Got it.
I killed it.
All right, let's finish chapter 5, and then we'll answer some questions coming across Facebook. The problem with Be Good goal is that they tend to backfire when we are faced with something unfamiliar or difficult. We quickly start feeling that we don't actually know what we are doing, that we lack ability, and this creates a lot of anxiety. Oh, I love this one. Countless studies have shown that nothing interferes with performance like anxiety does. It is the productive killer. When you have anxiety going and you're like, you can't focus on work because you've got things that you're trying to work out in your personal life, or you got things that are emotionally draining you or controlling you, you can't commit. You can't come in focused. You can't come in ready. You can't be in a ready state. You just can't. And that's from anxiety, okay? So you have to understand, stop trying to be good at everything and just work on being better. Just work on little things that you can do each day to get you to the goal that you want to be. You know, if you're having anxiety because you have a relationship that maybe not going that well in your life, then don't let that anxiety control you because you want it to be good, right? You want it to be good. You want it to work. Start working on little things that will create a better process for that relationship, whether that be date night, whether that be dinner, whether that be a walk in the park, little bitty things to create a better relationship so that it becomes great, not good. So think about that. Get better goals. Now this is the other side. Get better goals, on the other hand, are practically bulletproof. When we think about what we are doing in terms of learning and mastering, accepting that we may make some mistakes along the way, we stay motivated despite the setbacks that might occur. Because why? We know we're not trying to be good. We're just trying to get better by doing little things along the way. So that's important that you get that, okay? All right, we're going to go into chapter 6. So I got 3 more chapters. What do you got for me today, Facebook? What do you got for me? I need you right now, Facebook. Put your questions in, Facebook. Tell me what's on your mind, Facebook. Because I need you, I need you, I need you right now. Give me your questions. Oh, I need you, I need you, I need you right now. I need all your questions. I love this song. It makes me happy. Here it comes. Here it comes. All right, Facebook, what you got for me? What you got for me, Facebook? What you got? What we got, Jill?
So Steve wants you to go for some 70s music.
Oh, Steve, I would. I know some good 70s music, but I'd have to dig them up, man.
Christy says Kansas City and Orlando, and Levi says Orlando.
Orlando, Florida. And Kansas City. Carly's from. Oh, is Carly from Kansas City?
No, she's from Utah.
No, she moved down
here. She lived in Kansas City.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Studio.
What do you got here? We need a strobe light in the studio. You better watch out, Jill. Or Justin. That's Justin.
So, Christy says, so specific goals put into concrete, but having flexibility on the journey to get there.
That's exactly the point of the book, Christy. That is the flexibility of going after being good instead, or not going after being good, but instead going after being better. See, being better, did you not just hear what I read? Being better was when we said, look, being better is almost bulletproof because you're working on small things, and when obstacles hit you, you're not going to be demotivated or lose focus because you know they're coming instead of, I got to be good, I got to be good. So that's exactly the point of chapter 5.
These comments have been coming in the whole time you've been talking.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was having a conversation like right now with her.
Oh, no. Paris says, Zach, are you listening to Rihanna?
I have no idea who it is. Chainsmokers.
Oh, nice. Then Steve's. Well, we got Steve. Then Chrissy, you got onto a good roll, and Chrissy said, "Ooh, good point." Then Christy says, just like football, know where you're at in the field and listen to your coach.
That's right. That's right. Man, that's another good one. Man,
Christy is on fire, too.
I'm telling you, man. Goodness. What was that? Know where you're at. Give it to me.
Know where you're at in the field and listen to your coach.
Know where you are at on the field. And listen to your coach. How about that? Good. That's another good one, Christy. You gave me 2. I got 2 of your quotes on my wall right now. That make you feel good, Christy?
Toby says this training is worth thousands of dollars and we're being blessed to have it all at no cost.
It's because I love my people, Toby. I love my people. I love my Facebookers. I love my students. I love it when you guys come on here and interact with me. It makes me happy. It makes me want to play music. It makes me want to read more books. I got another book I'm going to read to you guys. It's the new 1 Minute Manager and how to manage your life and your business. I got all kinds. See, I'm always thinking about you guys. I'm always thinking about you guys. That's what somebody told me the other day. They said, you know what, Zach, one thing I noticed about you? I forget the word they used, but
was it at the event? It might have been Christy.
No, it was like when you're always you think about others a lot. What's that word?
Selfless?
No. They used a word. I don't get into the big words, but
there's like selfless or generous,
compassionate.
There's compassionate for.
Maybe that was what they used. I don't know. Anyways, it basically meant that I think about others, and that's the truth. Like one of the things I do is I think that I think about others a lot. And when this person said that, it made me realize, like, you know what? Maybe I do. And that's what these books are about. These books are about me thinking about you guys and where you're at and what you need to change. And look, if you watch this with me for an hour and all you got was maybe 4 hot topics out of this whole read, then that's a lot, right? That's a changer. That's a game changer right there.
Could be empathetic too.
Empathetic. I think that's what they use.
Because you're somebody who thinks about how other people are feeling.
Yes.
And how they're going
yes.
To
That was
forward.
Exactly how they explained it. Yes. That's it. Empathetic. Or maybe, I don't know. That word just doesn't sound very nice, but.
It is though. If you could teach your kids to be anything, it should be empathetic.
Because I think when they said it, I kind of looked at them and I said, "What? Like, what are you calling me that for?" So. Hey, you guys got any questions for me, or I'm going to finish out these last 3 chapters with you? Because I need you right now, Facebookers. Hey, if you haven't shared this, then shame on you. This is a good one. You guys should be sharing this on your page. Other people can watch it and learn from it. They might be like, who's that crazy guy they're watching? But that's okay. If I impacted them by my craziness, then that's good. No more? All right, I'm going to go into chapter 6 then. I'll answer some more when I'm done, okay? Chapter 6. Love this one. You ready for it? Have grit. That's right. Have grit in your soul. Have grit in your journey. Have grit. And let me say what she taught. Heidi says. She said, grit is the willingness to commit to long-term goals and to be present in the face of difficulty. Studies show that gritty people obtain more education in their lifetime and earn higher and get greater GPA scores. Grit. It means the willingness to face the battle face on. When somebody's got an issue, don't run from it. Call it out right now. You got a problem with me? Let's meet. Right? Don't run from it. Have grit. Have willingness to be face to face with it. Face your challenges. Face the journey. Face the struggles. Because they're not going anywhere. You understand? They're not going anywhere. So you better get the grit to face it. Because it is something you got to have. The good news is that if you aren't practically grit or particularly gritty now, because some of you might be like, well, Zach, I'm not really going to like confront anybody. And, you know, I'm just not that kind of person. Well, listen. The good news is that if you're not particularly gritty now, there is something that you can do about it. People who lack grit more often than not believe they just don't have the innate ability successful people have. Well, let me help you understand something. If that describes your own thinking, well, there's no way to put this nicely, but you are wrong. Okay? As I mentioned earlier, effort, planning, persistence, and good strategies are what it really takes to succeed. Grit is just what gets you through. Here's what she says about grit. Grit, in the sense that psychologists use the term, is persistence and commitment to long-term goals. Study after study of successful people, whether they are athlete, musicians, mathematic, or innovators, show that the key to success and enhanced ability is deliberated practice. Thousands and thousands of hours spent mastering the necessary skills and knowledge. That kind of practice doesn't happen without grit. That's what she's talking about. Not that you got to be gritty to be successful, but you got to be gritty and have grit to stay in it, to learn the process, to learn the skills, to learn the knowledge, because it's going to get hard. You understand? You got to stay in. Grit is all about not giving up in the face of difficulty, even when you're tired or discouraged or just plain bored. And the best predictor of not giving up is how we explain that difficulty in the first place. When you're having a hard time, what do you or whom do you blame? You shouldn't be anybody but yourself. Okay? That's all you should blame.
I have one from Christy that I have to share with you.
Okay.
It's very fitting. No one can go back and make a brand new start. Anyone can start from now and make it a brand new ending.
That's good. She's like a philosopher.
She is.
Read it again.
She said, no one can go back and make a brand new start. Anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending.
I love it. You know, Christy, I'm going to tell you this. You keep that mindset going, because I know you got a coach now with us, and I appreciate you more than you know for trusting in me as a company to help you succeed. You keep that attitude, and you'll probably be one of my coaches down the road, honestly. You keep getting trained. You keep being successful, and you start putting deals on the table. I would encourage you to come back to us and start helping others that are coming on board with us that want to seek that journey too, because you have the right mindset to help people succeed. I love it. Thanks, Christy. Man, Christy's starting to be a rock star on here like Toby, huh? Mm-hmm. All right, number 7. This is such a good chapter. Build your willpower muscle, okay? Your self-control muscle is just like other muscles in your body. When it doesn't get much exercise, it becomes weaker over time. But when you give it regular workouts by putting it to good use, it will grow stronger and stronger and better able to help you successfully reach your goal. Willpower, right? It's the driving force that makes us succeed in a lot of cases. To build willpower, take on a challenge that requires you to do something you'd honestly rather not do, okay? Give up high-fat snacks. Do 100 sit-ups a day. Stand up straight when you catch yourself slouching. Try to learn a new skill when you find yourself wanting to give in, give up, or just not bother. Don't. Start with just one activity and make a plan for how you will deal with troubles when they occur. I love that. How do you build willpower? Put yourself in a position that you wouldn't normally want to be in. I'd say that all the time. I don't call it willpower, but I always say if you want to grow and be strong at it, put yourself in an uncomfortable position. Like if you're not good on the phone, start getting on the phone. If you're not good in conversation with people-to-people transactions, then start networking. Put yourself in those positions. It will build, as Heidi says, willpower, but it's also going to build a skill set that you wouldn't have normally had because you're forcing yourself to grow. So many of the goals we struggle with year after year have one thing in common: resisting temptation. Ooh. We talk about this all the time at my church. And here's the thing, a lot of times temptation isn't just what we eat or what we think about, but it's also what we allow ourselves to hear and also what we allow our sight to watch or see. so many different ways that we can be tempted. Like people might say, oh, well, I don't want to be tempted with that, so I'm not going to watch that, or I'm not going to talk about that. But then they go out into the real world and they let their eyes gaze onto things that could be tempting. And once they do that, it starts to change their thinking process. And so the more and more you try not to think about something, it's not that easy. You actually start to think about it more because you're trying not to think about it. So temptation is an Achilles heel to anybody trying to start business or be successful. And she says here, you might expect very successful people who presumably have boatloads of willpower to be particularly good at not having or not giving into temptation. But if anything, they seem to be even more sustainable to temptation than the rest of us. Why? Because think about it. We are so open to information. We are so aware of our surroundings. We are constantly in a ready state. We're welcoming opportunity. So we have a tendency to be more vulnerable to temptation and other things that could persuade us. It's just how it is. So we have to live in a constant aware state of not just that we're open to opportunities, but that we are also vulnerable to temptation. And it gets us, and we have to be like, oh, wait a minute, I got to get out of that real quick. So she's absolutely right, and I agree with that statement that she wrote there. So, I mean, not that she's looking for my approval or anything, but she writes here, so if you want to build more willpower, start by picking an activity that fits with your life and your goals, anything that requires you to override an impulse or desire again and again, and add this activity to your daily routine, meaning challenge yourself to see how vulnerable you would be to temptation. And I'm not saying like a sinful temptation, but I just mean like a distraction, like maybe your phone. You know, like have your phone next to you all day, but only set yourself a goal to pick it up 4 times a day, but keep it next to you. The temptation of grabbing that phone, the temptation of checking Facebook, the temptation, but, make sure you set yourself a reminder that, hey, on Wednesdays and Tuesdays, I'm going to check my phone at 1:30 Eastern time zone because Zach's going to be live on Facebook. So set that out for yourself, okay? Set that. Number 8, don't tempt fate. Ooh, I think sometimes I have a challenge with this. There's a lot of things that happen in my life that I think were meant to be, but sometimes I tempt it or I challenge it. And when I do that, sometimes I lose it. And that's me knowing, that I've done that. So no matter how strong your willpower muscle becomes, it's important to always respect the fact that it is limited, okay? And if you overtax it, you will temporarily run out of steam. Don't try to take on 2 challenging goals at once if you can't help it. And make achieving your goal easier by keeping yourself out of harm's way. Many people are overly confident in their ability to resist temptation. It's like losing weight. Oh, well, I'm not going to eat that food in the cabinet. I'm not going to eat that food in the refrigerator. It's there. It's not going to bother me. Oh, hogwash, right? That's not true. You're going to look at it every day, and then you're going to go sit on the couch and think, oh, man, that really looked good in there. What if I just had one? No, I'm not going to eat it. And then 10, 15 minutes later, oh, man, that ice cream's still in the refrigerator. Let me just go get 1 spoonful. 1 spoonful won't be that bad. And then next thing you know, you're sitting there at 11 o'clock at night holding the ice cream tub in your hand with a spoon in one hand, watching your TV show, and you're just like, oh, I'm eating. I might as well eat it all. I just might as well eat it all. I've already started eating it and just eat it all, right? That's tempting fate, okay? Get the ice cream out of your refrigerator. So it goes on to say many people overthink this, but the rest of temptation. As a result, they put themselves in situations where temptation abounds them. Successful people know not to make reaching a goal harder than it already is. So get it out of your life. Look, that's like negative people. If I know I'm starting a business and I got people around me that are going to constantly berate me or tell me what I'm doing is crazy, then why in the world would I leave them in my life? Why would I associate with them anymore? They're not supporting me in my goal. If I go tell my spouse I want a coach to grow my business and my spouse says, oh, well, that coach isn't going to help you. You could do this on your own. Well, honey, if I could do it on my own, I wouldn't be sitting here at the age 60 years old with no retirement plan, right? Like, think about that. Like, that's the reality. You need somebody to help you get out of that lifestyle, to get in the right mindset. So get people that will support you and allow you to be in your journey. Resisting temptation is a key part of successfully reaching just about any goal. What we want to do is often the very opposite of what we need to do in order to achieve our professional or personal ambition, okay? The problem is that most of us think we have more willpower than we actually do. As a result, we put ourselves in harm's way, exposing ourselves to temptation that we assume we'll be able to handle. But we're weak. Do you understand that? Like, we are weak. We're humans. We're weak. We are sinful. We're weak. Everything is temptation to us. It's all temptation. Fast food is everywhere. Alcohol and everything else is out there. And I'm not saying you shouldn't drink. I mean, Lord knows I have a drink here and there too. I'm just saying the temptation to drink every day and all night is there, right? The drugs are out there. The temptation of, how it's supposed to make you feel is there. The influence to our children, they're there. This kid gets away with talking to his parents this way, so maybe I'll go home and talk back to my parents. Wow, knock you upside the head. Let me tell you that right now. So, my kids know real quick, I will take a belt off and I will whip me some rear ends. I grew up old school. Like the other day, my son comes in there and I told him, I said, son, I want you to go wash your hands and wash your face. I need you to go do that, okay? Go wash your hands, go wash your face. And I heard him running around the house. And he comes back in. I said, did you wash your hands and wash your face? He said, yeah. And I said, did you? He said, yeah. I didn't say another word. I just took my belt off. And I said, I looked at him with my belt. He said, Daddy, I lied. I'm sorry. I lied, Daddy. I'm sorry. I was like, now, do you want this upside your rear end? And he's like, no. I'm like, are you supposed to lie to me? And he's like, no. But the point is I didn't even have to whip him because why? He knew I was serious and he knew I had caught him. So the point is we got to be in it. We got to be active. We got to make sure that we do what? We don't allow temptation to overcome ourselves or our children. And it's there, guys. Chapter 9. Let me wrap this up with you. Chapter 9. Focus on what you will do, not what you won't do, okay? Do you want to successfully get promoted, quit smoking, or put a lid on your bad temper? Then plan how you will replace counterproductive behavior with more constructive, profitable ones. The 7 habits of highly effective people. That's the same thing they're talking about here. It says, then plan how you will replace counterproductive behavior with more constructive, profitable ones. That's this book. The 7 habits of highly effective people. Removing bad habits with new habits, okay? So that's what it's all about. You see how all these books work together? This is why you guys need to be getting in more books. Too often people concentrate on all their effort on what they want to stop doing and fail to consider how they will fill the void, because that's what it is. If you stop one thing, then that's time over the years that you have spent doing that thing. So now your body subconsciously, because of a habit, starts to think that it needs to go back and do that over and over again because that's what it's done for so long. Ooh, what was that? Was that an alarm telling me to get off?
Meg Ryan just let you know.
Meg Ryan?
Meg Ryan, you've got mail, you remember?
Oh, Meg Ryan, you got mail. Consider how they will fill the void, okay? Research on thought suppression has shown that trying to avoid a thought makes it even more active in your mind. Trying to avoid it makes it more active. That's like when you're trying to go to sleep and you're thinking, I wish I could go to sleep. I wish I could go to sleep. You just stay awake more. The same holds true when it comes to behavior. By trying not to do something, the impulse gets stronger rather than diminishes. If you want to change your ways, ask yourself, what will I do instead? Once you've decided to make an if-then plan. Remember chapter 2? If-then plan. To help you reach your goal, the next thing you need to do is figure out what exactly goes in it. According to new research, you need to be very careful about the way you word your plan, because one particular type of if-then plan can backfire, leaving you doing more of whatever you were trying to avoid doing the first place. Now, let me read 2 types of plans for you here. A research team in the Netherlands looked at 3 types of if-then plans. The first one was replacement plan. Listen to this. The replacement plan do just what the name suggests. Replace a negative behavior with a more positive one. If you have a tendency to immediately say yes to every opportunity that comes your way and you end up with way too many pots on the stove, you might create an if-then replacement plan, such as, if I am offered a new project, then I will think it over for at least 24 hours before responding. I love that. Ignore if-then plans are focused on blocking out unwanted feelings like craving, performance, anxiety, or self-doubt. Listen to that. That's an ignore. That does not mean that you've handled it. That does not mean you've replaced it. It just means that you're just suppressing it. You're pushing it down. You're sticking it up inside the closet, and you're shutting the door on the closet. And what happens when you fill your closet too many skeletons? They all come blaring out one day, right? And they all attack at one moment. And then you have a meltdown and you have a nervous breakdown, right? In this case, you are simply planning on tuning out unwanted impulses and thoughts in order to diminish the effect. The reality is you cannot push down or diminish these emotions. They have to be dealt with. Very true. Finally, negation if-then plans involve spelling out the action you want. It involves spelling out the actions you won't be taking in the future. With these plans, if there is a behavior that you want to avoid, you simply plan not to perform this behavior. The result is that you are weak and you are very tempted. So just by saying you won't do it is like having a goal without a specific achievement. Yeah, I just won't do it anymore. So do you understand? The replacement plan is ultimately the best plan. So I encourage all of you to get this book. It's a super quick read. I got through a whole book in less than an hour. 9 Things Successful People Do Differently. Heidi Grant. I encourage you to look this book up. Anything from Facebookers right now? What do you got for me, Facebookers?
Christy and Toby have been thanking each other for being encouraging to each other on here.
Oh, I love the support from you. You guys are supporting each other on here.
Yeah.
I love that.
Now, Christy also gave us another one that she said, stepping out in faith and believing.
Stepping out in faith and believing. Yes, Christy, that goes back to what I always say, the opposite of sight. If I can't see it, then I have to have faith in the process. And ultimately, I have ultimate faith because I'm on God's plan, and we all know that's the perfect plan. So I have ultimate faith in whatever I'm doing is where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing. So I absolutely agree with that. Anything that is of challenge or struggle you have to lean back on faith. So what else we got, Jill?
Other than that, it's just comments of like, yes, this is a great book. We've got to get grit. Toby says that she was raised very old school.
Way to go, Toby. I got whips and, man, I could sit here and tell you all kinds of things I've been whipped with.
I couldn't.
Oh, man.
I mean, I got spanked.
Listen, my mother was not afraid to grab the first thing she could get her hands on and knock one of us upside the rear end with it. So
it's probably a little different for girls and boys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can tell you, I whip not that I whip my son every month. I mean, there's months that go by I don't even whip my son. And I say whip. Now, I mean, I don't, whack, whack. I mean, I'm just like, pat, pat. But I can't tell you the last time I spanked my little girl.
Yeah.
Like, she looks up at me. If she thinks she's in trouble, I think she's more disappointed that I'm upset at her than she actually did it.
Right.
You know, because she's just like, oh, I didn't mean to hurt you, Daddy. I'm just sorry. So,
Lola is very much like Ava, and Charlotte is
a little feisty.
Oh man, she's in her. She's the one that's going to be trouble all day.
This is what we say to our children. Don't let me down. Just don't let me down. Oh, all right, Facebookers. I love you guys. I'm happy you're here with me this week. We've had a good week. We've had good trainings. We've had a good book. I want you guys to know something. You just need to keep coming back, getting more information. Stay in the game. Stay focused on what we do. Be part of this. Share this. Let everybody know what we're doing here. Get in the mood. Be active. Be present. Be alive. And then just get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Here it comes. This is Zach. I'll see you guys next week. Be good.